Welcome to Ring the Damn Bell. I am KG, your host, and of course, with me as always is my co-host, the wrestling enthusiast, Mark. What's going on, man?
Just trying to get through today, buddy.
I hear you, man. And we're going to be doing a recap of Wednesday night Dynamite. But before we do, a couple of things to talk about. One, you guys mark your calendars on March 29th. You guys have an opportunity to help raise money for those who have autism. There is it's called the Dylans Annual Autism Awareness Fundraiser. It is happening in Ohio. I am going to put the information in the comments when I release the podcast, as well as the information on where you buy the tickets. This is a great event. I'm actually going to be there. People like Mike Knox is going to be there. Baby Doll is going to be there for meet and greet. Scotty Riggins from WCW, he's also going to be there for a meet and greet as well. And there is a great wrestling card that is going to that we're going to get to witness. So this is a great event. Again, it is an awareness to, I'm sorry, a way to raise money for autism. Guys, sorry, I'm struggling a little bit tonight. I'm still dealing with a little bit of the residuals from that migraine that I had a couple of days ago. Also making news is Ricky Starks made his debut at NXT. Now it is being reported that the only reason he is at NXT is because they are waiting to ask after WrestleMania to really bring him to the main roster, as they don't have anything for him to do right now. So we'll find out if that's true or not, or if he's actually going to stay at NXT for a while. I think it'd be a waste to keep him at NXT for a long period of time, to be honest. I mean, I would prefer to see him on the main roster instead of NXT. Also, it does look like that Bo Dallas may be getting replaced as Uncle Howdy. They're actually looking are looking at a TNA former champion. Eric Young may be the replacement for Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy. And as we have more information come out, we'll be reporting on that. And last thing, CM Punk did an interview with ESPN, and he said that he would love to do one more run with John Cena. Are we going to see this? I don't know. The big question is do you think fans want to see this? What do you think, Mark? You think that this is something that would draw big money?
I think anything that's going to draw some amount of money. I think Cena versus Punk is a worthwhile endeavor. For the younger people that haven't seen it yet, for us older timers, it kind of brings back fond memories. I think.
Right.
I be honest, I don't think you guys are totally past their prime, but they're certainly getting up there.
Yep, I agree. And let's get to Dynamite, which is last night was their to go home show before their big, you can almost call it a PLE in Australia. I'm expecting that to be a really, really good PLE, to be honest with you. We got, two good Dynamites back to back. Last Wednesday was good, and last night was good. Let's get to it.
All right, so with Max Caster ring offering a challenge, I think he was looking for anybody but who got Hangman Page. Call. Max Caster ran into the crowd, tried to hide. Page goes and gets him. 2 minutes later, pinned. So I don't know what they're trying to do with Max Caster, but he's looking like a big old jobber to me.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing either. I mean, I was expecting at some point for Daddy Ass and his partner. You remember his partner's name?
I did up until you just asked. No, I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either. But I'm expecting I've been expecting them to come back and a feud to start between the two, but this is the problem with that. This guy has been jobbing for everybody. So, what would be the big payday for, these guys to get into a feud because of Max Caster beats his partner? That's going to really hurt his partner. And speaking of, we are talking about Anthony Bowens. Goddamn, yeah, Anthony Bowens. If Anthony Bowens came back and him and Max Caster got into a feud and Max Caster beat Anthony Bowens, that would make Anthony Bowens look terrible. I mean, can you name one person Max Caster has beaten since the claim was broken up?
No, no. But I'm looking forward to uh, Daddy Ass on a pole match.
Honestly, I'm not sure what's happening with Jay White. So I don't know if him and the Guns are still going to be in that,
Faction.
faction. Because I'll be honest with you, I was kind of waiting for Daddy Ass to show up in the corner of his boys while they faced the Hurt Syndicate for the titles. But he didn't, and we'll get to that match. So yeah, I'm just kind of curious to see what's going to happen with all of this between Bowens and Caster and Daddy Ass.
You got to give Daddy Ass credit though, because for like what 61 years old, he's in better shape of anybody from Degeneration X.
Um, he is. I think the only reason he's in better shape than a Triple H is because of Triple H's heart condition. Otherwise, I think that Triple H was giving him a run for his money for a while there. But you're right, he's in remarkable condition. I mean, the guy just doesn't seem like he ages.
You got to keep in mind though that he's got probably at least 8 years on Triple H.
Possibly, I'm not sure. Triple H is like 55.
I think he's.
I'm not sure how old Billy Gunn is. Now I'm curious.
All right. Well, anyways, we go to a clip of Ricochet.
Yeah, wow, he's 61 years old.
What I said.
Yeah, he looks great for that age.
He does. He's making Jack LaLanne look like a chump. Everybody's going, "Who's Jack LaLanne?" All right. So next, a clip of Ricochet and Swerve in their feud. It just back and forth between these two guys pretty much. Ricochet is ready to be done with it, and Swerve's like, "No, we're not done with it." And Prince Nana is like, "No, we need to walk away from this."
Yeah, I felt like I missed something because they showed back Prince Nana and Swerve talking and Prince Nana saying, "Why the hell do you have to make everything so personal?" Did I miss an interview between those two last week or something? Because
I don't think so. It seemed like it skipped a beat though.
yeah,
So, all right. So let's see. Next we go to Undisputed versus Death Riders for the 6-man tag. Undisputed looked really good. Roderick Strong really looked really good, to be honest. I'm not really Roderick Strong fan, but he looked really good last night in last night's match. I'm not going to take it away from him. Yuta gets a low blow on Riley for the pin.
yeah. So two things. One, I think that Roderick Strong looks better because he's not with Mike Bennett. Because though Mike Bennett and
Haven.
yeah, they just drove Roger Strong down, brought Roger Strong down. And as far as the shot to the nuts, AEW does this way too often. It seems like every week they are having a heel um, do a shot to the babyface's nuts, and that's how they're getting the pins. And to me, it's they have to come up with another way. I mean, it's getting old. I mean, if there was one um little nitpick that I could do about AW last night, it's the shot to the nuts thing. Once again, they're constantly doing it.
I need the finger poked to the eyes.
Right?
When's the last time you saw somebody get poked in the eye? That doesn't stop a 6'6" guy. Nothing will. So, all right.
Yeah, and it's crazy to me that they can do all these finishers on these wrestlers, and they will kick out of these finishers 4 or 5 times, but one kick to the nuts, and you're done. I don't like that.
Obviously, you have been kicked in the nuts lately.
I have been, and you couldn't keep my shoulders down for 3 seconds, even being kicked in the nuts.
Well, it might be with mine. I don't know. Maybe I got bigger balls.
Maybe, but mine are cuter. So,
Well, all right, I'll take your word for it. All right. So, anyways, Mox gets attacked backstage. Adam Cope and White steal the briefcase. I kind of like how they did that, putting Mina Shirira in a room and then cutting the chain to the briefcase. Which
yeah, I like that too, but I hated the Edge is promo after the fact, and we'll get to that.
Yeah. All right. So next we go to a MJF interview. Hangman comes in, calls Paige to the carpet, pretty much. Then we go to Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata versus 3 jobbers. I think one was Aaron Solo though.
I think so too.
Yeah. So which is a shame because I really liked Aaron at one time and had high hopes for him, but he slowly got dropped to the bottom of the totem pole right quick in a hurry. It was a squash match basically. Calls out Christian Cage's group, the hierarchy.
Yeah, I actually like this. I've never been high on Hook, not because he's not a good talent. I just think that he's still so young, and him being by himself, he needed so much work on the mic. But having him um with Samoa Joe, I like this because Samoa Joe's great on the mic, and if he's not a legitimate badass, he sure to sells himself as a legitimate badass. And having Hook with is it Chibata?
Probably, yeah.
With them in this small little faction, I think it's good, especially in the feud with Christian and Nick Wayne and the other little guy, because they actually matched the group, because Christian, believe it or not, is the biggest guy in his faction. So, him, but with his experience going against Samoa Joe, that fits up really good. And then Hook taking on Nick Wayne and Shibata taking on, I can't believe I can't remember his name right now because he's a great talent. Yes. What was it again?
Kip Saban.
Yeah, Kip. I guess Kip Saban. I think this will be a really good 3-way tag team match. A triple tag team match. I really do. Now, after the fact, I don't know if Samoa Joe is going to keep up with this faction, because let's not forget, Samoa Joe, he may not be as bad as Jericho or a KO who always turns on the people they're with. But he does turn quite often. So I'm curious to see if Samoa Joe is going to turn on these two guys after this feud that they have.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing Shibata against Joe.
I agree.
Hook against Joe would be a squash match, in my opinion, but
It,
whatever.
it should be.
Yeah,
It wasn't last time. Hook got in a little bit of offense when he originally fought Samoa Joe.
I don't recall that, but okay.
Yep.
Um, the funny thing about Hook though is I don't really believe him being a badass, but I do believe he's a good submission wrestler.
Yeah, I can buy that. I mean, look, when you have a guy trying to sell these a badass and I can literally pluck him and have him go out the window, it's a hard sell for me. It's the same reason. The only reason I could buy Darby Allin being, somewhat of a badass is because Darby Allin is certifiable nutso. The guy is psycho. And when you have a guy that doesn't care about his own body, okay, then maybe that'll give you some issues. But Hook, yeah.
No, I believe Hook in a real fight. I think he could make you tap in 2 minutes or less. You know, I
Yeah,
think
if
if
he got you in that submission, but he has to get you in that submission first.
right. Yeah, he's got to get you there first. Not that I'm offering an open challenge by any means. All right, so next we go to Jericho's interview, kind of blasting the Bad Apple for losing the bounty last week. And I don't understand this bounty. Did Chris Jericho put this bounty or double the bounty that was put on by somebody else?
I don't know. This is the only thing last night that I absolutely hated. I think it was dumb. Now, don't get me wrong. After Jericho left and the Bad Apple, what he said to Renee, don't you ever, that made me laugh a little bit, but the whole thing was stupid. And Jericho going to the ring and Bandito coming in and they turn each other's back to one another and they count the, whatever steps before they turn around. It was dumb, absolutely dumb. And, the bounty, he's way too good to be in a stupid gimmick like this. I wish it would be done with. Bandito's too good to be involved in this dumbass storyline. And the whole thing with Hobbs, with Hobbs coming out to the ring, um, to kind of help Bandito against Big Bill, I can't buy it because, as you and I talked about last night, it'd be one thing if Big Bill has won the majority of his matches. He's been beat too many times by smaller guys that it took away that holy shit. Can Hobbs beat this guy? I'll be honest with you. As big as Big Bill is, this should be a squash match. Hobbs should absolutely just beat his ass within a matter of a couple of minutes. And I think anything other than that is going to hurt Hobbs. It's going to make him look weak.
Pretty much. No, what I don't understand is apparently, well, somebody went on a rant on the internet saying that Triple H is going to ruin Penta and Ben,
Yeah.
Bandero is a bigger star, better star, and he's going to get pushed a lot harder in AEW than Penta will. And a year later, you'll see that from now. All right. Now, Bandito is a very powerful kid for his size, being what 5'8" maybe. He's actually probably in the leagues of Cesaro as far as strength and proportion. But he's amazingly strong for his size. But
Yeah. Go ahead.
as far as being a bigger star than Penta, I don't know about that.
Look, this is the thing. Number one, I can give two fucks about what internet fans think because they are not true wrestling fans. I read this post by this bozo that was talking about Penta and how Penta was garbage and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you know what? Oh, and he hoped for Penta to fail. And I'm like, look, you're not a real fucking wrestling fan because a real wrestling fan doesn't want any talent to fail regardless of what promotion they're with. Because if a talent is successful, that means that promotion is to be more successful. And the more successful the promotions are, the more professional wrestling we have to watch, the more jobs are out there for professional wrestling and our professional wrestlers. And on top of that, for all the men and women who work behind the scenes, the cameras, behind stage, whatever else. So anybody who says I want someone to fail, they're not real fucking wrestling fans. And again, internet fans, they're a bunch of idiots who live their mommy and daddy's basement, who only comes up to run errands for their mommy and daddy, and yet they're fucking 30 something years old. So fuck these guys.
pretty much. So, all right. So next we go to Mox ranting after Marina takes out Willow. Willow was apparently trying to have an interview, and Marina took her out, and then Mox ranted about I don't know this, that, and the next thing about his briefcase and Adam Cope and whatever else. I really kind of tune out Mox at this time because really not super interested. I think Mox has got the Monet syndrome, where I think he values himself more than what he actually is.
Well, like I said last week, I think a big part of the problem with Mox is he's no longer Mox. Or I might say this on another podcast. We're not seeing Mox anymore. What we're seeing is Dean Ambrose. He reminds me more of Dean Ambrose than what he does as the Mox that we seen originally in AEW. Also, um, this I will admit that I am a little bit more invested, not much, a little bit more invested now that Tony Khan or whoever is working creative, now that they seem like they have more of a direction for the Death Riders as far as this feud that they have with Christian and whoever's with Christian, instead of the Death Riders being everywhere and feuding with everybody with no direction. At least they seem to have some direction now. My issue is going back to the promo that Edge cut, which again, I'll talk about that a little bit more once we get to it.
I think we're actually honest.
It
Uh, let's see. Well, then it fades back to Bad Apple and Jericho attacking Bandito. Outrunners come out. Big Bill comes out. Hobbs comes out. All right. So the next we go to Adam Cope and White. Jay White calling out Mox for the end of the show. Um, then we go to a Dustin interview. Dustin was just loud and proud, pretty much.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, look, you can't really go wrong, in my opinion, with Dustin. He's just so damn incredibly talented. He's someone else that looks really good for his age. He did announce that I think, and don't exactly quote me, but I'm 90% sure that he said that he's going to be retiring in about 3 years.
that put him at about 58.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why he wants to put a little bit longer in there. I mean, I'm sure that he possibly may be wealthy from all the years of wrestling, but at the same time, he has just started his own promotion in Texas, which the first show did really well as a sellout. He's doing a second show here pretty soon. And the thing with wrestling for AEW that it's a steady income right now and gives him a little bit of that wiggle room to have that income coming in while still trying to build up his own promotion.
Yep. All right. So next we go to MGF to the ring versus Dustin. This is actually a good match. I was really impressed, to be honest. Dustin still has the best power slam out there, I think, or one of the best. Um, MGF gets the win for a submission. Hold Dustin passed out. Attacks Dustin after the match. Hangman comes out face to face. MGF. Fight breaks out. Security comes out. Fight goes back into the crowd. You know what? This is probably the highlight of the night, I thought.
I agree. One, I like the match between Dustin and MJF. But this feud that's starting with Hangman Adam Page and MGF, it really and as I told you last night, I had a smile on my face because the way they did it, it really made me feel like I was watching AEW from 3 years ago. I thought it was really well done. The only thing that I'm a little iffy about is the fact that they have a match booked already for next week on Dynamite. I'm hoping that it's not going to be a one and done, that this match is just going to lead to a longer feud between these guys with them facing off in March at their next pay per view.
Um, I must have missed this, but isn't last night when MJF was getting interviewed, Paige came in and he says, "I didn't know Jack Daniels made a cologne."
Yeah.
Oh my god! Actually, and the back and forth between them two during that interview was actually pretty good. You know,
Yep.
not gonna sit there and say different. I don't know how I missed that in my notes, but I missed it because I remember
Yeah.
talking last night.
Yeah. I just hope that my one concern is people always cheer for Hangman Adam Page when he's a heel, but it seems like when they try to do a babyface run, the fans turn on him for whatever reason. I hope that this isn't the case this time, because I wouldn't mind seeing what Adam Page could do as a babyface, but maybe his niches is him being a heel. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I hope that one thing I don't want them to do is after the feud with MJF, I don't want them to put him in any type of a world title run just yet, because that's when the fans really turned on him, was when he won the world's title.
Yeah, but he was
So
so
yeah, so let's keep doing what we're doing with him, and not have him in a title run just yet.
yep. All right, so let's go to a video clip of the coming PLE, I guess you want to call it, Grand Slam. Then we go to Megan Bain versus some jobber. A lot of praise coming from the announcers. Quick work for a pin. Chris Statlander comes out to the ring for her match. Megan and her have a quick glance. Then we got Penelope versus Statlander. Chris pins Ford. Ford looked awesome though. Bain comes out again.
Yeah, yeah. So one, I like Megan Bain. She is my favorite female wrestler right now. I hope that they keep on booking her the right way. Let her face some more, jobbers. Make her look like she is damn near invincible. Question for you, and I don't want to hear no bullshit about me body shaming because I'm not. It's a fucking observation and it's a question. But is it just me, or does it look like that Chris Statlander isn't working out as much as she used to be, as much as she used to? Because it doesn't look like her arms are as defined as it used to be at one time.
Oh, she looks like uh kind of skipped leg day and a few other things, you know. And now I don't take it as body shaming. It's reality. I mean, these guys make a living on selling their bodies, whether it's in the ring, getting to the ring or whatever. I mean, how many of these people pose with their bodies that they have? So
Yeah.
your body to sell your art or your craft. Yeah, you got to keep up with it.
Yep. And look, I'm not saying that she looks terrible. I'm just saying that she doesn't look as defined as she once was, even 6 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah, but look at the transformation Bane's had too over the last 3 years too. I mean, she looks phenomenal compared to what she looked like.
Yep.
You know, so and in the faith of Bob Cook, she's thick in all the right places. That was for you, Bob. Sorry. Well, not sorry. It's for Bob. All right. So, next we go to a clip of Harley. Uh, she kind of gets into her old role, and then all of a sudden she turns and gets kind of, I don't know, sentimental, I guess. Harley is the best thing going right now. The best thing going as far as women's easily, you know. And do I think she's gonna win on Saturday? Probably not, but is it gonna elevate her? Probably. I think she's extraordinary talented, whether she's a singer, a guitarist, a puppet.
Comedian.
Yeah, what?
She's also a comedian.
Oh, a puppet master. I don't care. Megan or not Megan. Uh, Harley is extremely a talented young lady. You know,
Yeah.
and
So this is my fear about Saturday night. that they're gonna have the dumb idea of having Monet's go over fairly quickly. And I hope that doesn't happen because that would actually hurt Harley. Let this be a really good, solid match. Even if Monet's goes over, let it be a really good, solid match.
No, Harley. I mean, they've got something organic with Harley. I truly believe that. This wasn't forced upon anybody. Little by little, she made her 30 seconds of interview time worthwhile. And she's one of the few people that have taken a year to build herself up to the point where she's almost a viable candidate for a title. You know,
Yeah, I agree. And, look, if there's any time to actually put the belt on her, it's right now while the iron is hot because she is absolutely hot with the fans right now. I don't know why the fuck they would wait for this. And look, this isn't just an AEW thing. We see WWE does this shit all the time too, or at least they used to do this shit under Vince McMahon. Uh, look, while the talent is hot, while it is organic, put the goddamn title on her now. That way the fans will still be behind her because she wasn't forced down your throat.
right?
So I hope she does win Saturday night.
I do too, but I don't see it happening. And I
No,
think the whole thing.
but then again, I didn't see Uso winning the Royal Rumble.
True, true.
Anything happens in professional wrestling.
All right. So next we go to the Guns versus the Hurt Syndicate. The Guns lost. It was actually a decent match, but nothing extraordinary. I kind of expected better. I kind of liked how Bobby Lashley just took one of them, dumped him right over the top rope, right out of the ground. Wasn't a squash match, but I kind of expected more.
Yeah, but this is the thing. And I know when I say this to you, you say it's because the Guns are better wrestlers. And possibly. Um, but I still believe that the fact that they gave the Guns a lot more offense on the Hurt Syndicate, whereas the at the time the reigning champs, the Private Party, where they put up the titles against the Hurt Syndicate, and how that one was basically a squash match. To me, it says very loudly how much faith they have or they don't have in Private Party.
They were trying. There's no sense about it. They were a good feeling champ. You wanted to see them win when they won.
But this is the problem with that. Maybe at first that they were, a good feeling champs, but they never defended the titles. Maybe twice before they dropped it.
Right.
I mean,
But they're only champs for 2 months.
yeah.
So, all right. So next we go to Mariah May losing it about Tony Storm. Uh, Next we go to Mox talking like Lord of the Rings, and the belt being his precious.
Wait, hold on. Go back to Mariah May.
Okay.
You broke up or you went silent. What did you think about that segment?
She's act like she had a screw loose.
I
I
mean, I think it shows that or are they wanting it to look like that Tony Storm is finally getting to her? Do you think Mariah May is going to retain Saturday?
I could flip a coin. I don't know. I
Yeah.
I I think a good story would be to have her keep it and have Tony take it another time. But Tony Storm, she had that high when and then she lost the belt. And then she had that low where she quit apparently. And then she had another low when she came back, didn't know name and number or whatever else. And then she came back as time was Tony Storm. So she's kind of on an upswing again, but this story's already been played out.
Well, let's not forget that she really didn't. She really wasn't supposedly as crazy as we thought she was. This was timeless Tony Storm playing herself as Tony
Herself.
Storm. I thought it was dumb. Uh, the fans love Tony Storm, though. Thomas Tony Storm. I personally don't get it. I don't like it. But I do think that Tony is their their go-to, and I think that Tony's going to win the title on Saturday.
That's possible. Um, you don't have to get it, but you have to give it the best original character probably in the last 10 years. Tell me I'm wrong.
Possibly.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't know. I'd have to research it.
Just from memory, give me a character that's come along that's had a greater turnaround success than Tony Storm going to Timeless Tony Storm. Nobody's had that turnaround. Nobody. Not in the
Not that I
last.
can remember, but like I said, I have to research it.
Okay, all right. Well, do your homework. All right, so next we go to Mox talking to like Lord of the Rings about his belt. Basically saying it's my precious, pretty much. Again, I kind of tune out Mox because he's nonsense at this point. Um, and we got Cope and White to the ring. Death Riders attack. Cope and White. Cope eventually gets his match against Mox. I don't remember when it was going to be, but it's not obviously this Saturday. So, but it'll be one-on-one with Cope and Max at some time in the foreseeable future. I'm assuming the next pay-per-view.
Yeah. So this is why I didn't like it. I don't know if they realize they're doing this or not, but they're setting the storyline to fail because this briefcase is so protected about what's on the inside of it, when it does finally get opened and there's nothing in there but the fucking title, I think that that's going to let down a lot of fans because they're making it seem like there's something in there that we're just not expecting. I thought this was dumb. Yeah, I get it. Edge, or Copeland or Cope, whatever the fuck his name is. He used that as a way to have John Moxley accept his challenge for the belt. And then he had Spike and he started hitting Spike. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's again, it's what the fuck are they doing? What's in this briefcase? It better be something besides the title. Even Mox's freaking, promo, he's talking about how, he's trying to protect AEW. So again, what's in there? Well, I can tell you what's in there. It's going to be the goddamn title. And the fans are going to be like, what the fuck? Or at least I'm going to be, what the fuck? I have to believe that. I'm not the only fan out there that's saying there better be something else in this fucking title or in this belt or in this case besides the title. I mean, what is your thoughts?
They've got the necklace from the Titanic in there.
Oh, maybe.
I think they got the heart of the ocean or whatever it was called. I can't remember in there.
I think.
I'll know what you got. Big deal. What else could it
be? I think that when it's finally opened up, it's not going to be a title. It's going to be a contract. And whose contract is it? It's Shane McMahon. He's finally coming to AEW. I'm joking. Joking.
There's going to be a contract in there for some star, but I never thought of Shane McMahon. But that would be fucking lit.
It would be, but it ain't going to happen. But you know what? And I forgot to mention this in the news. All the charges has been dropped against Vincent Kennedy McMahon. So maybe, just maybe, when you open that contract up, it's going to be a contract for Mr. Vincent McMahon. Mr. McMahon is going to be making his debut at AEW.
Huh. All the charges dropped, huh? That seems kind of suspicious.
Yeah, well, he's not the same as you and I. He's a billionaire.
Yeah, and he's got a billionaire friend in the White House, so I don't think there's any correlation there, though.
Probably not. But you know what? And, so let's go back to the Hurt Syndicate match because we've got to mention one thing. So who comes out? Lance Archer and Brian Cage. And I'll tell you why. Normally, two big guys like that, to face the Hurt Syndicate, I would be like, yes, this is a match that is going to be awesome, because there was no doubt in my mind that the Hurt Syndicate was beating the Guns. There was no doubt in my mind that they were winning the titles from Private Party. Oh, but to fight two big guys like Cage and Lance Archer, now I may say, these guys are as equally strong, if not stronger. So maybe the Hurt Syndicate might just be in trouble for the first time. Except they're not going to be, because Lance Archer has lost how many matches now against smaller people? And so has Brian Cage. And I'm not talking about before they formed this tag team in Don Callis' family. I'm talking about since. And this is the problem with booking two big guys as your fucking jobbers at times. You make them look weak. And when you make them look weak, kind of like what I said when I was talking about Hobbs and Big Bill, that if you have Brian Cage and Lance Archer beat the Hurt Syndicate, say they do a match for a #1 contendership, if Lance Archer and Brian Cage beats the Hurt Syndicate, they get a title shot. The problem with that is, if they do beat the Hurt Syndicate, it gives them much more than a title shot. It gives them dominance, because that's going to make the Hurt Syndicate look weak as fuck. And this is something that we do not want to have happen with the Hurt Syndicate. These guys are great. They're supposed to be freaking heels, but the fans love these guys, rightfully so. So when this match happens, I swear to God, it better be a squash match. And as I said to you last night, if Lance Archer and Brian Cage beats Hurt Syndicate, we're going to have one less podcast to do every week, because I will never watch AEW fucking again.
I agree with most of that, but when you got Action Andretti and Leo Rush beating Brian Cage and Lance Archer, I'm sorry. That's just not, that's just, in what reality? I'm sorry. I don't care if Leo Rush is an 8th-degree black belt. I don't care if Action Andretti's a jiu-jitsu master. I'm sorry. Brian Cage gets his arms around you, you're done. He can split you like a ripe melon without even blinking.
Look, that would be the equivalent of my son. You see my son. I mean, he's in the gym. He's got a little bit more size to him now. He's not as skinny as he used to be, but he's still, compared to me, a twig. I mean, I'm 6'4.5", 260 pounds. I've done my share in the gym quite a bit. I'm not a complete fat. But that'd be like him beating me. Come on, really?
No, that'd be like you or him beating you when he was 12.
Yeah, I mean, it just, I don't understand that booking, because, once when I seen Brian Cage and Lance Archer join forces, and then they were with Don Callis, I'm like, okay, maybe we can forget all about the dumb losses as singles. And now that they're together with Don Callis, these guys are going to be booked as monsters. I like this. But that didn't happen. Now, the only thing I could see happening that protects the Hurt Syndicate from looking weak and have Christian Cage or Brian Cage and Archer win is if there's interference by Don Callis's guys, like any one of Don Callis's. Well, no, Kyle Fletcher, as good as he is, he should get swat down like a fly if he tries to go up against the Hurt Syndicate. So, Contesta, right? I can see him getting involved and, having Shelton Benjamin put on the ground. Because, I mean, look, if there has to be someone who is somewhat of an enhanced talent that's going to take losses for the Hurt Locker, unfortunately, as much as I love Shelton Benjamin, it would just make sense for it to be him, because I love Bobby Lashley, but he has that size, and they both should be protected, but Bobby Lashley should really be protected. That's the only way I can foresee them taking a loss. But a clean pin? Fuck no. Absolutely not.
God, I was gonna go somewhere with that too, and oh yeah, you know what? The thing they're missing too, that I really think that you know we as an Americans don't really get to appreciate is why is there no match between Shibata, Okada, and who's Don Callis' guy?
Uh, com- God damn it.
Takeshita,
Kateshta, yeah.
right? Why are we not seeing matches between these three guys?
Yeah, I agree. But speaking of the Hurt Syndicate, and guys, this is a little bit of a spoiler. So Keith Lee has been backstage at AEW, and according to one of my sources, it is strongly being considered having Keith Lee join the Hurt Syndicate. And, it would make sense because when it comes to Swerve, he already has somewhat of this heat with the Hurt Syndicate. They've kind of dropped off of that for a bit, but they're going to make their way back to that. And who has major issues with Swerve?
Ooh! I know.
Tell me, who is it?
Keith Lee.
No, Keith Lee.
That's what
Who's Pete Lee?
Whatever.
Is Pete Lee Keith Lee's cousin?
No, it's Pistol Pez Watley.
Keith Lee. So I can see why they would go there. And man, look, talk about a big guy that can move in the ring. Keith Lee is. I think that he would fit in well with those guys. What are your thoughts on that?
I think you go back to Bear Claw.
Well, I think he should go back to look. This whole bullshit look that he had him with the white hair, man, it made him look like he was 70 years old. Go back to the black hair and have this man have a run that he deserves to have in AEW. WWE didn't want to give him a good run. For the love of God, AEW, fucking give this man a damn good run because there's no reason why he should not have some kind of title. And he could be the guy to go and get their version of the IC title.
No way. He could be world champ. He really should.
Yeah, but I don't think that he's not ready to be world champ yet. Let him be some people, put that lower card title on him, get some more wins to really establish him again, and then put him in a world title match. But this is a problem, though. If they go with this angle with Keith Lee being in the Hurt Syndicate, Keith Lee's not going to be the one with the title. It's going to absolutely be Bobby Lashley.
I don't know. I mean, they have Keith Lee with the national championship and has them with tag team champions.
Yeah.
You know?
I just think that Bobby Lashley is this is my fantasy, is that Lashley is going to be the world champ and he's going to be the longest reigning world champ that AEW has had thus far. Yeah, raise it up, fucker.
No, I can see him as world champion. I really can. He's been a world champion at the TNA. He's a legitimate badass, whether it's through the Army and his fighting career in the Army or MMA. He's a legitimate badass.
Although, I don't know. He's younger than I am. And there's that one night whenever I was managing / bouncing in the bars of downtown, Bobby came in. He made a scene. I made him tap.
Shut up.
Oh, wait. I dreamed about that. My bad. That was reality. What? Let's talk about the card and let's get some predictions for this weekend for AEW. Let's talk about the AEW Women's World Championship, Mariah May versus Toni Storm. We kind of briefly talked about that. I am saying that we're going to see a new champion. I think Toni Storm is going to get the win.
I'm going to go with Mariah still.
Just to disagree with me, or you really believe that?
I really believe Mariah is going to carry it.
Okay. Adam Copeland and Switchblade Jay White versus Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli in a Brisbane brawl. First off, AW has to stop naming all of these brawls after the fucking city they're in. It's dumb. Why don't we just call it a fucking hardcore match or a pinfalls count anywhere match? Something. Just stop this goofy shit. Anyway, I am giving the win to Mox and Claudio. I am predicting, based upon Jay White's history, that he's going to turn heel on Adam Copeland. But here's a question: has Jay White ever really turned babyface, or did he just start getting the cheers? To be honest, nonetheless, whatever he is now, he's not going to be getting cheers come Wednesday night and Dynamite. I do expect him and the Guns to get back together again, they never broke up, but them to be reunited. Now, I tell you, I cannot wait for the crazy one to come back.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You never see Juice and White in the same place.
You know what? It's crazy to me that Juice is married to Toni Storm.
Yeah. Oh,
that's just a weird match, a weird combination, but whatever.
You know who Keith Lee's wife is, don't you?
I think so. Who?
Minshew?
Yeah, that's right. Well, you know who Macedona's wife is, huh?
Chelsea Green.
Yes. And you know what? More power to him, because I wouldn't want her as my wife. We know how I feel about you. Although I'm a little bit more of a fan than Chelsea Green, I still don't like her fucking crybaby ass. Anyway, what is your prediction for the Adam Copeland and Switchblade Jay?
I'm going with Mox too.
Yeah, do you think we're going to see Jay attack Adam Copeland after the match?
No, I don't.
I do. And you can ask yourself, well, Kevin, why would he do this? What would be his motivation? Well, his motivation is that Adam Copeland has that title match, and Jay White's like, fuck you, buddy. You don't deserve it. I deserve it. And furthermore, he's gonna say, I deserve it because of my win-loss record. You're only getting it because you blackmailed John Moxley into giving it to you. So I'm thinking that's what we're gonna see. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay versus Kaniske, and
Fletcher.
Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher.
I'm gonna go with Omega and Will on that one.
Yeah, and let me say this again, because I fucked it up. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay versus Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. I think that we have to see. I think it's going to be Omega and Will Ospreay, just because Kenny's just coming back. He's already taken a loss. I think that they're going to give him this win. AEW Continental Championship, Okada versus Buddy Matthews.
I think they're still high on Okada. So I think he's going to walk away with it still. Although I'd love to.
I agree. I wouldn't say that Buddy Matthews is even close to being an enhanced talent, but when it comes to the big matches, unfortunately, he sure seems to be booked as an enhanced talent, which is a shame, because he looks great, and he should absolutely be holding on to some type of a title.
Yep.
And then go ahead.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
I'm going to agree with Okada. And then Mercedes Moné versus Harley Cameron. As much as I wanted to be Cameron, I'm going with Moné.
Yeah, I am too. I'd be fucking tear the internet down if Harley wins, though.
Yep. And believe it or not, that's it. We only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches. That's it.
Wow, that's it.
Yeah.
They better have some good then.
Well, I mean, you know that Omega and Will Ospreay's match is going to be at least half an hour.
Easily. Yeah.
Moxley and Kasanoff going up against Edge and White. That's going to be easy 20 to 30 minutes. I think the shortest match might very well be the women's match, Monet versus Harley. Yeah, I'm guessing that was to be between 10 and 15 minutes. And so I think it's gonna be easily 2 hours, a 2 hour show.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But yep. Other than that, yeah, that's the recap of Wednesday Night Dynamite. I would give overall, I give it I give it a solid B.
Yeah, I got to go with a solid B too. I think last week's was a hair better. Not that I really remember last week's, but just something sticks out that it was made a little bit better, and it could have been just shell shock that we actually got a good show.
Well, so, I think for me, what took away me giving it a B plus was that segment with Jericho and Big Bill. Which is a shame because I think Hobbs is an amazing talent. Unfortunately, he's mixed up with these two guys right now. And and the same thing with Bandito. I think he's a great talent as well, but he's mixed up in this feud, and I just think it's dumb. So I gave it a B. Real quick, guys, please look for the information on that Ohio show in March. It is a fundraiser for people with autism. It's gonna be one hell of a card. There's going to be legends there you guys can meet. If you want to meet me, I'm going to be there as well. Maybe Mark, he hasn't given me the answer yet if he'll be able to get time off of work or not. But I will definitely be there, guys. So come say hi to me. Just look for the ugly guy with the beard. That'll be me. And then as well, Bob, my apologies. Real quick, guys, the Cauliflower Alley Club. I am a member of it. It is a nonprofit organization that goes out and helps so many professional wrestlers, especially those who, whenever I was growing up, I loved watching wrestle. They weren't making the money that the talent makes today. And look, it is super cheap to join. It's $35 a year. That is 10 cents a day. That's it. Please join. And look, they give out, they have yearly annual awards ceremonies that they do. You can buy t-shirts, hats, and not just the Cauliflower Alley Club t-shirts or hats. There's AEW hats, there's AEW t-shirts, WWE, everything. And the great thing about it, again, the money goes to help those who are in need that were professional wrestlers or possibly still are professional wrestlers. It is a great, great opportunity, again, for you guys to help those who are in the sport that we all love so much. So please just go to the website, just Google California Alley. I'm California Jesus, Cauliflower Alley Club, and you can have an option of different memberships you guys can join. Other than that, Mark, do you have anything?
Nope, just ring the damn bell.
Ring the damn bell, guys. We're going to be back on Saturday to do, Sunday, we'll be back to do the recap of the PLE in Australia, the AEWs. We probably will not be doing the recap of Friday Night SmackDown just because we're going to be watching the Australia show. So forgive us for that, but we'll be back Sunday for sure to do the recap of the Australia show, AEW's Australia show. Hopefully it'll be a good show. Until then, guys, you guys have a great week, and we will see you guys on Sunday. See you Sunday, Mark.
Saturday.